The other day ago, I wanted to start a freaking new character as a tank, an aura, because they look freaking muscular and tall, right? Or Rogadin. And then one person, my FC, said, hey Marcel, don't bother making an alt, it's pointless in Final Fantasy XIV. And this was like stuck in my mind, like why is it pointless to make an alt, a second character in Final Fantasy XIV? And then I came across a video by Zepla, why having an alt in Final Fantasy XIV sucks. And this video, Zepla is talking about why we shouldn't make an alt and why it sucks. And I'm really curious about it because I'm still pretty new to Final Fantasy XIV. On World of Warcraft, I do have a Human Death Knight alt that I play on from time to time, and I don't have that really in Final Fantasy XIV, except for this Your Lancer for my Let's Play series, but that's another topic, right? And yeah, let's have a look at why having an alt in Final Fantasy XIV sucks.
Hey Buns, I think it is no secret that Final Fantasy XIV is alt unfriendly, and usually
But why?
every time you bring that up, people are like, well, so what? You don't need alts. You can play all jobs on one character, so alts are unnecessary.
Oh, that's why, right? Because you can have a job on each.
You have New Game Plus. Yeah, so you don't need it for that. And it's true. I mean, I love having all my stuff on my main character, and I find it super annoying in other MMOs when I do everything on one character, and if I want to play a different class, I have to log out, log back in, and do all that stuff all over again. But even if all...
Oh yeah, by the way guys, so yeah, you can have like every job on one character, but my thought when I wanted to start like a new character as a tank was for the aesthetics, the role playing, and the look, right? Because I play currently a Lalafell, and Lalafells are a bit, not just a bit, they're very, very small, and they don't look like really strong, right? So if I play like a Lalafell tank, yeah, this is maybe cool, but I think it would be even more cool if I was a Rogadin or an Aura tank, like a race that's like very tall and strong looking or looks a bit aggressive. Like imagine playing like a freaking Aura warrior. Like you have this evil sort of look with those horns, right? You're like really tall and you have like this big axe or something. But yeah, I was told I shouldn't make an alt because this game is alt unfriendly. But I think most people make alts for the aesthetics and the role-playing perspective, I think.
Alts are unnecessary. There's still plenty of people who enjoy them. I mean, there's plenty of unnecessary stuff that people enjoy.
What the heck? Dancing chicken.
Find alts necessary, like they might have friends on different data centers, or maybe they want to practice savage fights without messing up lockouts for the week that could interfere with their static loot. For crafters and gatherers, you would have extra allotments for beast tribe stuff and custom delivery caps and so on. Still, even if you don't think it's worth having an alt at all, the fact is that Square Enix seems to value it higher. It costs more money to have more than one character per world, and account-wide items tend to cost more on the MOG station.
Oh, so yeah.
The question is it worth the extra cost? Are people getting the bang for their buck? So today I wanted to talk about ways that having an alt is a huge pain in the butt.
Wait, so you can't move this over, right? Like, let's say I get some cool items on one character and I have an alt. Like, let's say I get, for example, let's take the example of the Aura Warrior. Let's say I have an Aura Warrior, and on my Lalafell Ninja, because currently I'm playing mostly a Ninja, I get like this really cool gear for tanks. I can't send this to myself, or can I? Like, for example, I have like some very rare drop from like a very difficult, like let's say dungeon, and I can't move this over, can I? I have to like look more into that because I'm not sure.
And ask, could it be easier? However, one alt restriction that I fully support is that you can't have more than one free company house and one private house per world, per account. So you can't line up the whole ward with all your different alts, though some people still find ways to do that with multiple accounts. That's a discussion for another day. That said, one thing that I think is a little silly is that you can't share your house that you have on your main character.
What?
Your alt. Like, you can't add your alt as a character with the guest access.
Holy shit. That sucks!
And that is because you would need to friend them first to do so, which leads us to the next restriction.
What the heck? This is really bad, guys. So if I save a lot of money from playing a lot and I buy like a big house, one that's crazy expensive, I can't freaking go into that with my alt? But wait, that's per world, so if our alt is on a different world, like let's say my alt is on Chaos. Then I just have to farm separately for gold. I mean for gil in this game, right? Okay, so it's per world. But that means if I'm in a FC and I have like an alt, it's pointless to play in the same world. Oh my gosh, that's really bad.
Friend your alt. You can't be friends
What?
with yourself.
That's even worse.
Can't
Can't even be a guest.
How would you be a friend to anybody if you're not a friend to yourself?
By Mike Tyson, that was funny.
Your friends list means you cannot send mail to them either. So if you want to send gil or items to your alt, you would have to trade them to a trusted friend.
Okay, my question has been answered. There's no gear switching and sending to my alt tank.
Chest to transfer things, but this assumes a lot.
I don't want to race change though, just because of one job.
As your alt, and that both characters have permission to do that, and that there's enough space in the FC chest for you to put the stuff in there, log out, get it out of the chest on your alt. It sounds pretty tedious, even if you have all those permissions. I mean, of course, you could have your
Black
own
Mage
private
51.
FC, but I mean, this means that you would not be able
Wait, is that Zepla's alt?
with other people. You'd have to be isolating yourself for the sake of ease of transferring stuff between you and your alt. I don't know if a lot of people would be willing to do that. The tinfoil hat, cynical.
I mean, I could maybe do that and find someone that I trust. Like, I already have like 2 friends in game that I'm really cool with, and I'm pretty sure those 2 I can trust and move the gear. But now I don't want to make an alt because of this freaking housing situation, because that sucks. That means if I have a house in this world and I have an alt, I can't buy another house and I can't use my house that I bought on my main character.
Take is that they don't want to make the
maybe I should make a guide at some point for beginners, what you should be careful with.
Have a bank alt
That's a good idea.
Send things to, and there'd be much less need to buy extra retainers for the bank space. But I think it still would be a bit of a pain to log on to the other character to get the stuff, and we're dealing with getting items out of the mail. Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten a lot of stuff from the Mog Station in the mail, or like just from your loyalty rewards in the mail, but trying to get it all out, like you have to wait 5 seconds between every mail you have to even delete. The mail system sucks. This is like, not the
I get gifts sometimes per mail by people. They gift me pets and stuff.
Plenty of people willing to pay for the extra retainers because it is way more convenient than dealing with the mail or logging in and out of a bank alt.
By the way, thank you all that sent me gifts on mail. Like the other day, I logged in, got a mail with a sweet pet. Like, it's so sweet that I get like gifts. I'm always happy. So if you want to mail me anything like a freaking mount or a freaking pet, be my guest. Like, seriously. No, that's
Another
sweet.
way you could trade gil, for example, is to sell something on the market board that your alt could purchase. Sell something cheap for a very, very high price just to get that gil.
And then someone else buys it. I must be insanely fast then.
Pay 5% market tax on everything bought on the market board.
Wait, hold up. If I offer this on the market board for like super cheap, let's say I have like this really rare drop, like a rare gear piece. Let's say it's a headpiece for a freaking warrior or so. And I offer this for like, let's say 10 gil or something. What if while I log out and log on the other character, someone already buys that? OMG, I'm so screwed there. I lost it. Oh shit. Oh no. Yeah, that really sucks. And by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I've seen that a lot of people that are watching me are not subscribed, so hey, I'd be very happy if you subscribe. And don't forget to like this video if you like this one.
I did see on Reddit, someone suggested that selling gear on a mannequin if you're trying to get it to your alt. Obviously, you'll need an apartment or house to place one. Have the alt run up to the mannequin and buy the item off it. Tax-free gil transfer between characters. Thanks for the tip. Nasty crap.
Yeah, but that's not convenient. It's annoying.
That's not an exploit. Like, that is allowed in the terms of service. But you might want to double check. I'm going to tell you to double check the terms of service. Just
but you still don't have the house on both.
Probably the most obvious hurdle with having an alt is just the nature of Final Fantasy XIV. This is a game that takes a significant time investment to get to max level on your first character going through the main story.
Yeah.
All your class and job quests, all the
I have 100+ hours already and I'm still level 40.
Southern Front requires you do all of
I mean, I'm only level 40.
Some story quests require the Crystal Tower raids. And then when you consider stuff like relics and Eureka progress, like, it's an overwhelming amount of stuff that you would have to do all over again. And that's immensely off-putting to anyone considering an alt. Again, a cynical
Yeah, but that's true with how slow it is. And by the way, that's a cool boss. I can't wait to fight against this one. Like, what sort of machine is this? Like, shit, I want to fight against it. But yeah, I've also noticed that Final Fantasy XIV, it does take a lot of time to like level a character. So I'm playing on a summoner and ninja, and I'm leveling like both parallel. At least I'm trying to. And on this character, I've probably already invested maybe over 100 hours. And I have like a summoner level 40 and I have a ninja level 41 now. Because I'm trying to max them simultaneously, because what I usually do is I do like one dungeon that I unlock from the main quest. And then I change the job and I redo the dungeon another one. And sometimes I do like 1 or 2 additional fates or something to keep up. So I'm trying to level both simultaneously. However, this makes me advance very, very slow in the story because of those breaks for extra dungeon runs on a secondary job. But my goal right now is on my character, like my main character, to have a maxed out ninja and a maxed out summoner and of course freaking scholar, because you get also scholar, right? So I have 3 roles already. I have freaking healer, I have caster and melee DPS, what is really good.
Take would be that this is a way to sell job and story skip potions in the market board. But even if you do that, I mean, a job skip won't take you.
Oh, I don't do that. I want to do the quest.
A bit of unlocking and work to do, and many things are just not account wide. For example, if you happen to be a legacy player with a cool tattoo to show for it, only that character that you played can have the tattoo. Like, it's crazy to me that something like that is not account wide across all your characters. But the technology is there, I assume, because as I mentioned at the start of this video, account wide items cost more on the Mog Station. Have they made many things not account wide just to create?
I'm personally not a big fan of microtransactions, to be honest.
I'd like to think not, but the question has to be asked. There's an idea floating around that they've made the game worse for alts on purpose to hinder RMT traders. Now, I find this argument incredibly silly because RMT botters are running around rampant, not a care in the world. They are very good at trading things within their own network, and they do so by taking advantage of existing systems. They have multiple accounts, they have their own private FCs to easily trade items within. Like, if this is all done to curb RMT, it's not working. In World of Warcraft, for example, if you've already done a massive chunk of story and unlocking on your main character, when you go to do that on an alt, there's often going to be a button that's like, I've heard this tale before, and you can skip.
Yeah, exactly, because you get those account-wide achievements. If I do something like this, was the same when I had my alt, my Death Knight. So I finished Shadowlands on my Warlock, and when I was like done with Shadowlands, I made my alt and I leveled him up, and I also did, get into Shadowlands, and then I had the option to skip through everything. And I didn't do that, of course, because I wanted to also experience everything on my Death Knight, so I just did it manually, and it took me many, many hours, but I had the option to skip so much.
Quest lines that you've already done and go straight to a much later quest. That would be so nice to have on 14. Like, I'm not an alt person, but just imagine if it was way easier to have an alt and many more things were.
By the end of this video, I have to say something important, guys, about alts.
Around on a Lalafell tank or Lalafell Black Mage, but right now, as it stands, it's just way too much trouble. Buns, I would love to hear your feedback on this, and if you feel like maybe things are fine just the way things are, it's completely unnecessary for anyone to ever have an alt, or maybe you're a person that has alts and you agree with some of the points that I've made. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video.
Exactly. Subscribe to Zepla and subscribe to me.
And I'll see you next time.
Oh, interesting. Now I've definitely some more insight on why having an alt is not so good, why it basically sucks, and why my FC also told me, hey Marcel, don't bother getting an alt, it's pointless. But yeah, what's like so important to me having alts, or like that's my personal feeling, okay? Like, everyone feels different, and that's basically the character's background and story. I find it a bit weird, to be honest, and this confuses me. It confused me when I started like Final Fantasy XIV. And some people maybe feel the same way, but if you make a certain character and you pick like a main job or base job, you often pick the race based off that, right? For example, in World of Warcraft, I'm playing a gnome, a mecha gnome warlock, and that's my main character, the mecha gnome warlock. And I'm playing a human death knight, and I did both for aesthetic reasons and for lore reasons and for also racial stats reasons, right? For example, in World of Warcraft, the Mecha Gnome has very, very good stats and passives that go really insanely well with the Warlock class. And the human has some really cool things that I can also use for like freaking PvP on the Death Knight. I want to do some PvP on the Death Knight, like the Frost Death Knight. And I can do that very well on a human. Plus from the aesthetics, I think it looks so freaking cool being like a human Death Knight. Like, it really fits like the whole theme and everything. And why I would want to make an alt, for example, in my case, I play a Lalafell roguelike ninja character, so being small is no issue, right, aesthetics wise, because you are basically, okay, I'm fast, I can jump around, and I'm just sort of like quick fighter, right? And being a caster, I just think about my gnome in Warlock, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm smaller, but I'm using magic to my advantage to be stronger than my opponent and everything. But then when it comes to certain roles, on like let's say my Lalafell, like a freaking tank or warrior, I'm like, wait, I'm a small person with a small axe. Am I even like, I know it's just the same numbers and stats in game, but it doesn't feel so realistic, right? Or if you, for example, let's say you're a Rogadin that's like crazy muscular and tall, and you're being a freaking mage, anything a caster. Then it's like, wait, why do you have those muscles and this build if you only use books? Like, imagine playing a Rogadin scholar, and I'm not trying to roast or make anyone feel bad that plays a Rogadin scholar. Play whatever you want, like, you have the freedom. But I find it weird being muscular and tall, and then I have a book to attack. Like, that makes no sense. Where do those muscles come from? I must be exercising like crazy, right? So why would I be a Rogadin freaking scholar or summoner that uses a freaking book when I have the muscles and I look like a freaking warrior? Same with like Lalafell tank. Like, yeah, it's cool, and I don't know, maybe you really love your character, but I feel like certain jobs fit better with certain races. Like in both, in WoW and in Final Fantasy XIV. But it's fine. I will still level a freaking paladin or something on my Lalafell, because I really love this character. I got really attached to it from playing a lot on it. And one thing I love about Final Fantasy XIV, but that is also what makes it alt unfriendly, is the fact you can do every job on one character. So if you get any attachment to your character, or you are a hardcore achievement hunter and you want to farm all those collections and stuff, and you want to invest yourself only on one character because there's some certain contents that are really difficult to do, like freaking some raids and stuff, right? So yeah, focusing on one character has its benefits. But it's bad that I can't make like a freaking aura tank now, because I really wanted to grind one up, but it's probably really pointless. And I don't want to change my main character. I don't want to like buy a name change and get this free race change, because I love my character. I don't want to get rid of my Lalafell character. I'm glad I have this one. I picked this one because I wanted it. So I don't want to abandon it or delete it or like change it. No, that's not me. But yeah, this was a very interesting, informative video by Zepla. And yeah, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button for more content. And I would really appreciate if you like this video. This will help out with the YouTube algorithms. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.